Today on Max Handy Gadgets, we're back in the workshop in part 2, working on this old broken RCA microwave that won't heat up or cook anything. Think we can fix it? Let's find out. Okay, so in part 1, a neighbor asked me to take a look at their old broken RCA microwave that just won't heat up, it won't cook anything, it just won't get hot. And in part 1, we found out the transformer primary windings failed. And when that failed, it blew the capacitor. Yeah, and possibly the diode. And we know it blew the fuse. So there you go. Now, it costs too much to fix this, but you know me, we don't give up easy. So we're going to get into this transformer and see what failed. And if we can't fix it, at least we'll know why it failed. Yeah, so let's get into it. Yeah, okay, in part 1 here, we did find out the transformer primary windings was shorted out somewhere. Maybe right near the end of the terminal there. We just don't know. I detected some black winding right down the bottom there. Some black windings, you know. So we're going to have to take this transformer out, turn it over, and see what's going on. Maybe we can fix it. But here we go. I was going to put it all back together and give it back to the, our neighbor. But basically, I think we're going to just go ahead and just take it back apart here. Yeah. All right, so let's take the fuse out. Okay, we have that almost out already, and it is blown. Now that's a slow blow fuse, but we can order one if we have to. I don't think I have a slow blow proper amperage fuse for this, but we can go ahead and order one if we have to. Now we're going to pull these connectors off the capacitor here. Okay, and get them out of our way. And we're also going to take the capacitor and diode out. We're going to test this diode to make sure it's okay. If not, we'll just have to order one after we fix the transformer. Yeah, this is the main thing. If this is blowed and we can't fix it, we don't even bother ordering our capacitor or our diode or anything. So let's get the transformer out and we'll take a look. Let's remove the capacitor, get that out of our way. Okay. Okay, there's the diode. Now that's a high voltage diode, and there's a special way of testing it because your regular voltmeter won't be able to test this diode because it's a high voltage 2000 volt diode. So we're going to have to test this a certain way to make sure it's okay, even though there's not a short, because we tested for a short. I'll show you that. We'll take the screw out, and if these two probes here go together, it'll register 0 on the meter. Now this diode is not shorted, but that doesn't mean it's not blown or not working properly. So we're going to have to test this a special way and make sure current flows in one direction and not the other, because this is acting like a one-way valve for electricity. Yeah, it'll allow only current or voltage to go in one direction and not the other. All right, let's put this aside for now, and we'll slip out our capacitor. And this definitely has a dead short on it. If you take our probes again and you hook them up, it's almost a dead short. I mean, very close to being a dead short. So that's no good. That capacitor is definitely blown. It's shorted out. And yeah, I did notice on the bottom here, it's got all this residue. This capacitor is actually leaking. Let me see if I can give you a closer look at that. Here you go, right? Yeah. All right, can you see it? That shiny stuff? See it? It's leaking. All right, so it's definitely blown. Yep. And there's your the size of the capacitor right there. It's 2100 volts AC. Yep, and it's 0.85 microfarads. Yeah, okay. And it has the tolerances there and all that. So if we have to, we can order a new one of these. But we must find out if the transformer works first before we order a new capacitor and a diode and a fuse. Yeah. Alright, let's get the transformer out of here and we'll check it out and see what happened to it. Maybe it's just right near the terminal end there where it might have hit ground or something like that. Yep. Alright, let's go ahead and test the transformer one more time to make sure though. Alright, let's do that. Okay, let's test the transformer out one more time to see if it's still shorted out. We'll put our probe in here. Okay, it's definitely a dead short. It went right to 0. Okay, now we're going to ohm test that and make sure it goes to 0. So we'll just switch it to ohms and we'll go back in here. Okay, we're on there. Ready? Yep, it's definitely a dead short. Okay. So we're going to have to take the transformer out and definitely take a look at it. Okay, let's move our meter out of the way. And we better unplug our magnetron here. Okay. So we have all our leads. Let me undo the leads for the transformer. Okay. So we have all our leads on. Now all we have to do is remove the transformer. So I think we might have to flip this over the microwave and get the screws from underneath. Yeah, I'll do that and I'll bring you back. Okay, I flipped the microwave over and there's the transformer, and there's 4 screws going through the bottom that hold that transformer in place. So let's get them out of there. Should come right out of there once it get that last screw out. Okay. Wow. Alright. There it is. We got it out. So, alright, let's put that on a bench. Okay, I'll bring you back and we'll take a look at that transformer and see why it shorted out. Primary windings right there, but over here it looks a little dark, so we're gonna have to check it out. Okay guys, here's our microwave transformer. Boy, is that heavy. Okay, now what happens is we have 110 120 volts going in this side on the primary, and coming out we have over 2,000 volts. Yeah, and then when it gets rectified by the capacitor and diode, we have over 5,000 volts DC coming out. You know, going back into the magnetron. Yeah. So this is high voltage. It says right there. So I wouldn't be messing with this unless I knew a little bit about electronics and electrical. So if you're going to be doing this, you know, do it at your own risk, you know. So we're going to try to find out what's going on with this transformer and why it shorted out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the primary side. Okay, maybe we can stick it on its side here and we'll get something maybe to prop it up. Alright, right there, that'll be good. Okay, I can already see something here. If you can see it, there's some dark windings right there, like something shorted out, and I wonder why. Oh, and I see black carbon right there. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to take a closer look. Yeah, there it is, right there. Can you see it? That winding right there is going through that solder joint, and it's bound up down the bottom there between a piece of plastic and the ground. You can see where it was arcing. See that right there? It was definitely arcing. So maybe that's why it's shorted to ground. Now that is the end of this terminal here, so I don't think it damaged the rest of the windings. It just seems like this part right here arced the ground. Okay, let's get our meter and double test that right now, and maybe if I push down on this plastic and get that piece of wire out of the way, it won't arc the ground. What do you think? Man, that's some stiff wire too. We might have to resolder that joint though. Okay, let's put our test lead on here. Okay, let me get the meter in the shot here if I can. Okay, can you see it? Now, if it finds a ground, it'll go to 0 or a dead short. Now let's test our terminal over here. Yep, it found a ground or a dead short. So that's bad. Now let's go ahead and test the body of our transformer. See that if that is a short between this post and the ground, the body of the transformer. We shouldn't have anything touching. But let's see. Ready? See that? Look. It's a dead short to ground. This terminal. So let's check the other terminal. Can you see the meter? Okay, the other terminal's fine. Okay, it's this one. This one's got a dead short to chassis ground. That's bad. Okay, let's see. Let's try this again. Ready? That's a short to the coil. Okay, now let's see if we have a short to chassis ground. Yep, dead short. Okay, I wonder if we could push on that plastic right there that's touching that wire, that heavy gauge wire. I think it's jammed under there and melted, and then it shorted to ground here on the chassis. Yeah, I wonder if we can do that and see if we get a variable in our reading of the meter. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, you think we can take a piece of plastic like this and jam it in behind here and separate that wire from the housing? I think we can do it. Let's go ahead and try it. We'll put it down here like this, and then we'll jam it in back there, and it'll help insulate that wire from the body of the transformer or the chassis. So let's try it. We'll push that in. It's going in real tight. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, let's give it a test. We'll get the meter in here and we'll go to ground. Remember, dead short. Okay, now we're going to test to see if that goes to body ground or chassis, and if it does, it'll short out and show 0 there. Nope. Nope. Well, it's working. Okay, that's all it needed was an insulator back there, and I think I might have to resolder that terminal though. It looks a little crusty. So let's go ahead and do that, and I think we got her fixed just with that insulator there. Now I'm probably going to glue that in place and make sure it doesn't move even though it's jammed in there real tight, and it'll definitely work because that's plastic and it won't allow it to rub against the housing anymore and short out. I think what happened is it got really hot and that solder probably started to lose some of its strength, and maybe the wire slipped or whatever, but from the factory it looks like that wire right there was very close to the housing of the transformer to begin with. So it didn't take much for it to short out. It was just waiting to short out all this time. Okay, let's go ahead and glue that in place, and then we'll go ahead and solder this terminal. We'll resolder it, reflow it, and make sure it's really nice and solid. Yep, it's working good. Nothing's shorting out. Good. Very good. Now that means we should have like 0.5 ohms between these two terminals. Let's check that. Okay, let's get in here and get it in the shot. Remember, this was a dead short. we're looking for about 0.89 or 5 ohms here. Let's see what we get. 0.8, 0.9. Oh, okay. I think we got it. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and glue that plastic in place. And then we'll come back and we'll reflow and resolder this terminal and make sure it's got a good connection. But I think we're going to be needing a big soldering iron for this. Okay, let's take our test lead off. And we were going to use this pencil tip soldering iron, but I don't think it has enough power to actually solder that 12 gauge wire there, or whatever it is. It's pretty big, and that's a pretty big terminal right there. So we're gonna have to get the big one out. Yeah, the big soldering gun. Okay, let's go ahead and take a little super glue, and we'll go ahead and glue that plastic in place. Okay, that ought to do it. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to try to scrape back a little bit of this black stuff that's on this wire here. Try to clean it. Yeah, it definitely was arcing. It was arcing on the back side of that terminal, right to the chassis. Yeah. Okay, now with that plastic there, it won't do that. Okay, let's see if we can solder that and make a good connection. We'll get some flux and we'll put it right on there, and we'll get our big soldering gun here and see what we can do. Okay, let's go ahead and clean up. Use a little alcohol on there. Yeah, you can tell it was burning back there a little bit, and that plastic there now is insulating it from shorting out. So that's good. Okay, I think we got it. That looks really good. Now all we have to do is test it with our meter and make sure nothing's shorting out before we put it back in the microwave. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's get our test lead clamped to the terminal here, and then we'll get our meter in the shot. Can you see it? Okay, and when we touch this terminal, it should go to 0.9, 0.8, 0.7. Okay, it's good. We got her. Okay, we did a good job there. Now all we have to do is put this back in the microwave and order a capacitor, a diode, and a fuse for it. And I'll bet you this thing will fire up. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll order a capacitor, a diode, and a fuse, and we'll put this transformer back in the microwave, and we'll fire this baby up. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, we fixed our transformer. We put that plastic in there to keep it from shorting out, and we resoldered that terminal there, and everything seems to be okay. So now all we have to do is put that back in. Okay, we went ahead and ordered a capacitor for it. Yeah, it took about a week to come in. It's a similar size, microfarads, and it also has a diode and a slow blow fuse. Yeah. Okay, we'll install them and see how it works. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and hook those wires to the primary side of the transformer. Okay. Okay, let's hook up our wires at a magnetron. Alright, there's one. There's two. Alright, they're snapped in good. Now we're going to go ahead and take our old leaky capacitor. Yep. And replace it with our new one. Okay, here's our new one. So let's open it up and find out what's going on in there. Yeah, hopefully it matches. Okay, let's open her up. Okay, let's see what's in there. Wow, nice little bit of kit there. Okay, it looks like it's about the same size. There you have it. 2100 volts, but it's 1 microfarad. So it's a little different. That's actually probably a little better. So it'll help it run a little bit warmer, I think. Yeah, not much, just a little bit. From 0.85 to 1.00, yeah, okay. But it's still 2100 volts, so that's what counts. 50 and 60 hertz, yep, very good. All right, let's put that aside for a minute. And the kit comes with a fuse holder. I wonder if there's a fuse in there, and it also comes with what looks to be a diode. Yep. I don't know if you can read the numbers on there. But there it is, a diode. Oh, there's two diodes. Give you a spare diode. Okay. Also, we seem to have some slow blow fuse in this kit. We have more than one slow blow fuse, so that's good. In case we blow one. Yeah. Okay. We'll go ahead and put our capacitor in and see if it fires up. Yeah, hopefully it does. Alright, let me put this aside for a minute and get ready to do that. Here we have our old leaky capacitor that's shorted out and blew up. And we need the mounting bracket off this to fit on our new capacitor. So let's go ahead and take that off. Okay. And we'll take our new capacitor, a brand new one. It should slide right on there. It does. It slides right on there really nice. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and mount that in there. Yeah. And we got to put our diode on this screw too. So let's do that. Don't forget that. Okay, let's slip it in there. It should slide in that slot there. Just like that. Okay. Okay, we're going to need to test this diode. It's a high voltage diode, so there's a special way of testing it. A normal voltage meter won't test this diode properly. You can test for a short circuit, but it won't test current flow on the diode. So you need a special way of doing it, and you can still use your regular voltmeters. Yeah, and it works out really good. So let's do that. Yeah, to test our diode, we're going to take a 9-volt battery here. This is an EBL 9-volt battery. Now you could use, you know, a regular Energizer battery, you know, alkaline battery if you have one. But we're going to use our EBL battery right here. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, now to test our diode, we're going to need to hook up some leads. So we're just going to go ahead and hook a jumper lead up to the positive side of the battery terminal there. And we're going to hook up a negative lead to the battery negative. Okay. And we can put this right down here where we can see it. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and take our meter and see if I can get this in the shot here for you. Okay, we'll just hang it right there. And we'll set our dial to 20 volts. And we'll take our negative lead from our battery here. And we'll hook it on our meter, the negative side. Now it really doesn't matter about the polarity here because we're going to switch it around. So now we have our negative side there. connected up to our battery. Okay, now we're going to take this test lead and we're going to hook it up to our positive side of our meter. And you see we have 8.10 volts on our battery there. That's your battery voltage. Okay, now we're going to test our diode. Alright, let's hook it up to our meter. Right there. Can you see it? And over here, we'll go ahead and touch the probe. And we got 3.83 volts. Now there is a voltage drop across the diode, but that's normal. So current and voltage is flowing in that direction. Now if we turn this around and hook our meter on this side, we should get no voltage on our meter. No current flow. That means this diode's good. Yeah. Okay. It's not shorted out because we already tested that. So this is really good. Okay. We can use this back in circuit, or we can use one of the spare replacements that came in our kit. But I think we're going to just go ahead and put this in and see what happens. Okay. So that's good. Okay, let's get our meter out of here. Let's get our battery out of here. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and take our diode and we'll put that screw in there. You know, the mounting screw. And that should slip through the screw in the mounting bracket of the capacitor. So let's see if we can do that. We can get that in there and screw that down. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead and get a fuse out of our kit here. They both the same? Yep. Okay, let's get that one. Yep, 0.75 amp at 5 kilovolts. Yeah, it's a high voltage fuse. Okay. Okay, there it is out of the package. It's a slow blow fuse and it's high voltage. So there you go. Okay. Let's get the old one out of here. Alright. Put the new one in. There you go. And we might as well take our housing and put it back in there. Kind of snaps in and then this snaps shut. Just like that. Beautiful. Alright, now it goes in that little holder back there. Let me see if I can get that in there. Okay, gonna have to turn it. Alright, now that should just snap right in back there and hold it nice and secure. Okay, it's in. Alright, now let's connect up our capacitor. So I think this was right here. Top terminal, bottom terminal, okay, and then we connect our diode up top here. Okay, looks like everything's nice. We'll tuck this in behind here. There you go. Okay, everything's back the way it was. Make sure your wires are out of the way of the case and your fuses okay. Alright, looks like we're all done. All we have to do is put the cover back on there, but first let's fire this baby up and see how it works, and then we'll put the cover on. Okay, let's get our kit out of the way. Yeah, that was a nice kit. I'll put a link in the description for this kit. It really comes in handy. Yeah, it gives you all the parts, the diode, the fuse holder, and also a new capacitor, not this one. This is the blown one. Yeah, the new one's in already, so we're good. All right, let's put this aside. Let's spin our microwave around. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's get ready to fire this baby up. Let's plug it in. Okay, let's set our clock. Okay, it seems to be working. Our clock, anyway. All right. Okay, let's open her up. And we'll take a half a cup of water, and we'll go ahead and put that right in there. Now, let's see if this gets hot this time, right? Okay. Let's put it on for 1 minute. And hit start. Here we go. Hopefully that gets nice and hot in 1 minute. And it's done. Let's check it out. Yeah, that's boiling. Holy cow, is that hot. Wow. Oh yeah, really hot. Look at the steam. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Alright. Okay guys, I can't believe we fixed it, but we did. You know, we like a challenge, right? So there you go. Now we're going to give it back to our neighbor, and they're going to be happy we fixed it. Yep. Alright guys, let me put the cabinet back together, and I'll bring you back. Okay guys, there you have it. Our old broken RCA microwave is working again. Yeah, that's going to be good. Our neighbors are really going to be happy that we fixed it. I'm glad we fixed it. It was a good challenge. We found out what was wrong with that transformer, and then we went ahead and ordered a capacitor kit for it, and I'll put a link in the description for that capacitor kit. Yeah, that comes in handy if you want to repair your own. But be careful, you're talking high voltage there. Make sure it's unplugged and you discharge your capacitors. Yeah. Okay guys, if you're enjoying these videos, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Yeah, I'm glad we fixed this one.